Hey everyone, I made this video for people going through hard times, going through painful situations. I've been through a lot of those myself. I've been through divorce, I've been through breakups, I've been through friends committing suicide, I've lost other loved ones, I've been through business failures, financial failures, um, some of these all at the same time. And it can be really hard and it can be really shocking. And I wanted to talk to you today about that. It's kind of the day one pain, right when it happens. The phone call or the message you get when you hear that person died, or that moment the spouse says, I'm done, I want a divorce, or maybe you have to say that even if you don't want it. And I wrote a book about all of this. It's called Getting Through Pain, 12 Steps to Making Painful Situations Suck Less. And one of the first chapters is about how to get through that initial day one pain, the initial shock. So for myself, when I feel trauma coming on, I feel some pain coming on, I get like chest pain. It feels like I'm getting almost like ripped apart, especially things like breakups where you're splitting up with someone, and especially if you didn't see it coming, or maybe you caught that person cheating or something, it's just the betrayal, the chaos, the uncertainty hits you all at once, or remembering when a loved one died and I was just, whoa, it's like it wasn't real. And that first day can be really difficult, and I will pace around. I almost drive myself nuts and sometimes feel like I'm going to have a heart attack or something. Sometimes feel like I'm dying, like not that I want to commit suicide, but it's like, oh my gosh, I'm dying. And it's a terrible feeling to have. And I can't lie to you and tell you, hey, here's the magic way to get rid of all your pain, because that's just not going to happen, especially on the first day. And there's no pain-free life. I mean, when I worked out since I was 16, you literally tear your muscles and cause pain, and they grow back stronger. And there's a lot of examples I could use, but even this book, it's sort of a joke about 12 steps, because there's no perfect 12 steps. However, I do think no matter what you believe or your scenario, and you may need to do more than my book, such as some hard counseling, joining support groups, etc. It's really 12 kind of practical things that can help you if you're dealing with hard times. So anyways, let's get into that first chapter. The first thing is talk to someone. So for myself, and I have all of these at the end, you can see the summary real quick. See right there, this summary here. So talk to someone. Don't get lost in your own head. Don't start going to a dark place. Don't, go out, start driving all crazy. Maybe you're hyperventilating. Don't, go get drunk or whatever. Talk to someone. To me, this really takes off the edge. I've got a few key guy friends, as well as a great set of parents who will listen to me. And I recently went through a painful situation that kind of inspired this book. And when it happened, I called my parents. I'm like, oh my gosh, my life, all these things are going wrong. And sometimes a lot of these things, like I said, it happens at once. So it could be, maybe money's tight, and then someone breaks up with you, and then someone dies, right? These things can pile up. So talking to someone takes the edge off for me. And that is just one helpful thing to get it out. Talk to a friend, talk to multiple friends. I'll talk to a bunch of friends, and don't start isolating yourself, and don't, go to a dark place. And, you need to connect with people and express. Don't bury it. It's not going to work. The goal is to calm yourself and bring down the, let's call it, pain symptoms, trauma symptoms, hard time symptoms, whatever you want to call it. This isn't like a, psychology science video book or anything. So the next thing is try calming your body. And again, you don't want to go out and get crazy and get drunk or something, but sometimes a glass of wine or two can just calm you down. If you have trouble with alcohol or something, obviously don't do that, but just calm your system down a bit. Another thing I do is I have these tanks for working out. It's like a workout oxygen recovery tank, and I'll take some breaths of pure oxygen. It really brings your system down. You can also take super deep breaths, really deep breaths. If you're hyperventilating, you're pacing around, feeling that tension, just take some really almost to that point where your chest hurts, over oxygenate yourself. That'll really help. That helps me as well. The next thing is, if you have a safe spot where you feel calm, go there. So I live by a beach. There's a couple beaches that aren't too busy. I like to go to those beaches and kind of hang out and just look out. Sometimes I'll even bring a suit, hop in the water, just kind of float around and breathe deep, right? Just try to calm my system. It's a really nice view for me. Maybe you have another place. Maybe you can go on a hike, or of a trail or something like that, or even some area in your home or in your yard that you can go, gather yourself. This can be in between talking to people, right? Because we don't want to isolate. And, just try to take some deep breaths, focus, and calm down. And remember, this isn't the end. This is just a moment right now, and it feels crazy. And I can't tell you just feel great, feel happy, because then I'd be a liar. And people who say that don't know what they're talking about. The next thing is cry if you need. I mean, men, I know we're always like, oh, don't cry, I'm so tough. Who cares? You think like a soldier who sees his friend shot in battle never cries about it? I mean, I hope they do. And you'll feel that's some of that welling up. It's just like cry, let it out. Just be like, man, this is terrible. How could this happen? Let out a bit of that pain you're feeling, that sadness. Maybe it's anger. Hit a punching bag, Go do a workout, hit some squats, something heavy if you can. For me, I honestly feel like I can't even focus on that stuff, but I can definitely, cry. And I used to hold stuff in and just just be like, just let it out. And I don't think it makes you weaker. It makes you stronger, because you're actually being an authentic, whole human being. So forget all that, men never cry or something. I mean, sure, if you can't handle anything and you're always falling apart, that's a separate issue. But I'm talking about when something terrible happens. So the next thing here is express your feelings through songs, things that can calm you. There's some studies that music actually helps with trauma. So if you can listen to something calming, maybe it's something more angry that you want to get out, it helps you express that emotion. I love a lot of poetic hip hop, a lot of electronic stuff. It's, the hip hop, it's almost like they know how to put sounds and words to what you're feeling. Or electronic stuff. It kind of takes you to another place, or whatever it is. Maybe it's heavy metal. I don't really care what it is. And just make sure it's not something that's going to make you super depressed or something. The goal is to use this music to help bring out those feelings that are just eating you apart inside, right? That's the goal. And the next thing is distract yourself with a movie, or other media, movie, YouTube, video games, something just to get your mind off of it. At the end of the day, maybe all this happened and you don't just want to sit there staring at the ceiling, feeling that death feeling, and try to, distract your mind a bit. There's nothing wrong with that. Later in the book, I talk more about how to deal over time. But this is the first day, the first week, that initial shock. Maybe you can't even sleep, all that. That's what I'm talking about right here. And the biggest thing is just remember you're not alone. I'm on some dad's divorce groups on Facebook, and some of these stories are insane. I mean, insane what they've been through. Way worse than what I've been through. And you can feel, you lost that business. So many people have lost a business. I mean, you look at some of the biggest companies, a lot of them had business failures in the past. A lot of them had some point where they almost went under and then they were able to make it. So just remember you're not alone. When I talk to people, everyone's been through some kind of pain, whether it was like, physical abuse as a kid, sexual abuse, maybe someone died, they got in a car wreck. And keep in mind too, some pain, it's like you cause yourself. If you got super wasted and crashed into somebody, that's terrible. And hopefully there's a way through it. But, that's different than someone committing suicide that, you didn't see coming. And I talk about those different things. And either way, the goal is just to calm down. It's not the end. You're not alone. I'm here with you. I've been through it. I've been through a lot of painful circumstances, and these are ways I figured out to process it. So in that, also talking to someone, that first part will help you as well to not feel alone. And people can relate and be like, oh my gosh, I went through that too. Or just, man, I'm so sorry about that. And you can relate to each other. We're communal beings. We need connection with others. And nobody wants to go through a hard time by themselves. So don't isolate. Anyways, that's it for today. I just wanted to share some ideas from the first chapter if you're going through a hard time, because, if you're in that kind of panic stage, everything's just hitting you right now, maybe even today. I hope these steps can be helpful. I hope it wasn't too long-winded. And if you like this, check out the book. It's in the description. And also subscribe, because I'm going to be putting out more content like this. I've gotten some good feedback and people want to hear more. So just make sure to subscribe, like, comment, share it. Share it with a friend, send it to a friend going through a tough time, or, on Facebook or whatever. I'd appreciate that. And the goal is just to help people here. So anyways, with all that, I'm sorry for what you're going through. Remember, you're not alone, and you'll be hearing from me soon.